Praise be Jesus Christ and Mary Immaculate. Welcome to this homily for this fourth Sunday of Lent, Year C. A very famous story of the prodigal son found in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 15. Today we hear one of the most beloved and most powerful stories that Jesus ever told. The story we usually call of the prodigal son. But to really understand what Jesus is doing here, we have to go back and look at the whole chapter, the beginning of Luke 15. Luke tells us that tax collectors and sinners were all drawing near to Jesus to listen to him. Now, that's impressive and fascinating because it's those who are on the margins, those who were considered the biggest sinners. It is they who are drawing near to Jesus and to listen to him. Not the religious leaders, many times not even his disciples, but it's the outcast, the forgotten. These were the people everyone else had written off. The outcast, the forgotten, those labeled as far too gone for salvation to ever reach them. And yet they are the ones who feel drawn to Jesus. The words of Jesus are actually saying something to them. They sense that something in Jesus is speaking directly to the deep hunger inside of them. A hunger for life, a hunger for acceptance, a hunger for healing, a hunger for forgiveness, a hunger for inclusion. But not everyone is happy about this message. The Pharisees and the scribes, the religious professionals of that day, they're upset. They grumble. This man welcomes sinners and eats with them. Now in the world, and in our world as well, eating with someone was also to share life with someone, was also to share what is sustaining me. I am feeding you because I want you to exist along with me. It meant acceptance, closeness, and even friendship. For these religious leaders, it was scandalous. In their view, if someone wanted to come close to God, they had to clean up their life first. They had to go to confession first. They had to clean up their life, follow the rules, and then maybe they would be found worthy of some type of relationship with God. But Jesus does not think that way. Jesus does not bring people towards God by way of rules and religious checklists. No, Jesus brings God to the people where they are, where they find themselves, under the bridges, street corners, back of the house, in the parks, wherever it is. It is Jesus that brings God towards people. He brings God right into the mess, the brokenness, the lostness of people's lives. And he does it with mercy, and he does it with compassion. And so to these grumbling religious leaders, Jesus tells not one but three parables. First, the shepherd who leaves the 99 sheep to go look for the one that is lost. Then the woman who searches for the whole house and cleans the house for one lost coin. And finally, the masterpiece, the story of the father with his two sons. We all know the story of the younger son. He takes his inheritance and runs. He turns his back on his father and wastes everything. But then, when he's at a rock bottom, something wakes him up. He remembers that he is son. He remembers that his father has only children. Even his servants he treats like children. He remembers the goodness and the generosity of his father, and he comes home. And what does the father do? He embraces him. He runs towards him. He looks for him. He doesn't scold him. He doesn't punish him. What he does is he throws a party. Because in the Father's eyes, this isn't about rules. It's about love. This son was mine and dead, and he has come back to life. He was lost, and now he's found. But the story doesn't end there, because Jesus wants to make a point to the Pharisees and the scribes. There's another son, the older one, the one who stayed, the one who obeyed, the one who followed the rules. And when he sees the celebration for this younger brother, he gets angry. He refuses to go in. The father comes out to plead with him, but the older son just can't see what's really happening. He does not see the movement of love and compassion and mercy that the father is showing his son, the reuniting of the family. He sees it all through the lens of fairness and morality. I've done everything right, and you never threw a party for me. his heart is closed. And here's the tragedy. The father had two sons. The father had two sons that both were lost, each in his own way. One left and came home. The other never left, but really never understood the father's heart. Always acted as a servant. My friends, Jesus tells us this parable not to scold, but to open our eyes. God's love is not a reward for good behavior. God's mercy is not something that we earn. God's love seeks us out even when we're far away, even when we've messed everything up. And that love doesn't wait until we're perfect. It means that he finds us as we are. God meets us where we are to bring us all home. Every one of us has something of the younger son in us. We've all strayed. But if we're honest, we'll probably have something of the older brother too. The part of us that wants God's mercy for ourselves, but struggles when others receive it. The part that wants justice, not grace. This Sunday, the church invites us to open our hearts again to the mercy of God. Let us not be like the Pharisees who grumbled, or the older brother who couldn't join the celebration. Let's come inside the house, enjoy the music, dance with the music, join the feast, because our God is not a God of scorekeeping. He's a Father who runs to us, who lifts us up and says with joy, "You are mine. You were lost, but you are found." God bless you.